Hello everybody, this is Daryl Whitman with Destinationwvftv. Thank you for watching. Me and my wife recently completed a 7-day Western Caribbean cruise on the new flagship of Carnival Cruise Lines, the Carnival Jubilee. This video chronicles our cruise from beginning to end and everywhere in between. It was a wonderful cruise and we enjoyed it very much. The ship was beautiful and we'll get into all of that as we go along. This trip was more about the ship than the destinations. We'd been to the ports on a few occasions before. I was more interested in the cruise ship since this was Carnival's new flagship. I love big and new and wanted to explore every inch of her. So with that, let's get it started. Our cruise was scheduled to embark from Galveston, Texas on Saturday, February 10th. As we usually do, we drove down to Galveston a day early. The trip takes about 5 hours or so. We used to fly, but we discovered we could save about $500 or so by driving, and it's essentially a straight shot from the Dallas area to Galveston via I-45. You slow down somewhat when you go through Houston depending on the time of day, but once you're out of Houston, another 45 minutes or so and you're in Galveston. We do like to make a stop at that national landmark Buc-ee's. That place is amazing to me, and it was packed. We don't have the pleasure of having a Buc-ee's in the Dallas area, so whenever we stop at one, it's a treat. That's usually our stretch our legs, bite to eat, and bathroom stop. Then we get right back on the road and continue to our destination. It took us about 6 hours to get to Galveston. Our hotel of choice was the Courtyard by Marriott on the seawall. It was our first time staying there, and let me tell you, we enjoyed every minute of it. It is now our go-to hotel in Galveston. I actually did a video recommending the hotel. Here's a short clip from that video. Hey you guys, this is Daryl Whitman, Destination WVF-TV. I'm here at the Courtyard by Marriott, our hotel of choice for this cruise. The hotel is actually located on the seawall, real easy to get to. It's very nice. They're actually undergoing some renovations right now, but they didn't disturb anything. The hotel is going to be really nice once they get through with those renovations, but it's been a comfortable stay. It's just one night. We come in one night prior to our cruises, generally speaking, so we had a nice night's sleep, good night's sleep. The beds were nice and comfortable. The room was missing a little furniture, I think, like a couch or a love seat or something. But they told us that upon check-in, but everything else was there. It wasn't a big deal or anything. So we understand that they're under construction, so things may be a little different for a minute or two. But we really enjoyed our stay for the one night. It was comfortable, like I said, got plenty of sleep, got plenty of rest. Didn't have any disturbances over the night, nobody trying to break in, no fire started, nothing like that, thank God. But so if you come to Galveston and looking for a hotel, which a lot of people do, there are a lot of cruisers here too, by the way, then you might want to check out Courtyard by Marriott here on the seawall. Very nice place to stay, and I highly recommend it. Talk to you later. Bye. I'll put a link in the comments so you can see it in its entirety whenever you're ready. Please take a minute and check it out. We spent the rest of the day relaxing and gearing up for embarkation day on Saturday. After a good night's sleep, Day 2, embarkation day, was finally here. Our check-in time for the cruise was between 12:30 p.m. and 1 p.m. We left the hotel at about 11:45 a.m. The hotel was only about 5 miles and 15 minutes or so from the cruise terminal. However, we needed to park first. We did something a little different this cruise. We used indoor parking, and I loved it. I like the idea of our car being protected from the elements in an indoor setting. There was a shuttle available to take you to the cruise terminal and pick you up after disembarkation. The great thing is they were there waiting for you when you disembarked. Then right back to your car. No waiting around or calling to have someone pick you up. It was awesome. It's our new go-to cruise parking spot in Galveston. The cost was about $220 for the entire week, and it was well worth it. Embarkation was relatively painless. The lines moved well, and I estimate we were on the ship about 45 minutes after we arrived at the cruise terminal. There was no waiting around for them to call us by groups to board the ship. That was a plus. After check-in, it was right on to the ship. we headed up to the Lido deck, deck 16, to eat some lunch since rooms weren't quite ready yet. After eating in the Lido marketplace, the buffet, we made our way down to complete our security briefing. Look, this has really changed over the years. They asked us if we had cruised before, and we said yes. They scanned our boarding passes, and that was it. No demonstration of the life vest or anything. Just thank you, goodbye, and enjoy your cruise. Once the rooms were ready, about 1:30 p.m., we headed up to check ours out. We booked a balcony cabin on deck 10. Our cabin number was 322. We were really pleased with it. In fact, here's a short clip from my balcony cabin review. Good amount of shelving here. Good amount of counter space. Our little goodies we pre-order. And a lighted mirror. On the opposite side, there is a couch, which probably is a sofa sleeper. There is also a reading light there. You can see. Nice ocean artwork. Here's our bed. It's supposed to be a king, I believe. I always have my doubts about that though, but that's what it's supposed to be. It comes with a side table on both sides of the bed and also another reading light also on both sides of the bed. I will also post a link to the video in the comments so you can see it in its entirety at your convenience. So we just settled in for a bit and rested. Our luggage hadn't arrived yet. I was happy to see the items we pre-ordered had already arrived. The ship was scheduled to leave Galveston at 4 p.m. One of the things I was looking forward to was the sail away party. Once the announcement was made that the sail away party was about to start, I headed up to the Lido deck and grabbed me a spot. I was actually on deck 17 so I could record from a better vantage point. Let me tell you, the sail away party was hot. It was led by the Jubilee's cruise director, Kendall Fire. What a great name. And as her name suggests, she was on fire. Carnival knows how to throw a party, and I don't think there's any cruise line close. Just my opinion. So day 2 had been an eventful day. Day 3 on our trip, Sunday, February 11th, was a sea day, and we spent it mostly checking out the ship, seeing what it had to offer. Jubilee is an Excel class ship like Carnival Mardi Gras. We cruised on the Mardi Gras before, about 2 years ago. There are a lot of similarities, but also some differences. Primarily, Jubilee is currently the newest and largest ship in the Carnival fleet. There are also a couple of new zones on Jubilee that differ from the Mardi Gras, Currents, and the Shores. Day 3 was also Super Bowl Sunday. I didn't realize that when I booked the cruise. I did so on Super Bowl Sunday. I prayed I would be able to see it while at sea. As it turned out, I had no issues. The ship showed the Super Bowl in multiple venues, but even better, I didn't have to leave the comfort of our cabin. I watched the whole game on my iPad. The internet service on the ship was outstanding. That was a real plus. The game was great. The outcome, not so much. On day 4, we made it to our first port, Cozumel, Mexico. This was not our first trip to Cozumel. We'd been there at least 3 times before. We ate breakfast in the Lido marketplace and then headed out to the port. Here's a short video of some of the sights in port at Cozumel. We ate dinner that evening at Guy's Pig and Anchor. This is one of our favorite restaurants. We make sure to pay them a visit anytime we cruise on Carnival. Day 4 was spent in Costa Maya, Mexico. Just like Cozumel, we've been to Costa Maya a few times before too. We did venture off the ship and checked out the port. Funny thing, we actually saw a few things we hadn't seen before in this port, and it was a pleasant surprise. It started as we headed down the pier on our way to the port. There was a gentleman playing the harp. The harp! It was really nice, and certainly something you don't expect to see on a pier anywhere. Here are some scenes from Costa Maya. After returning to the ship for lunch, we stopped by Shaq's Big Chicken, and we loved every bite. Later that evening, we had reservations at Fahrenheit 555, the ship's steakhouse. It was, to say the least, very underwhelming. Why? Well, while the service was great, the meal itself was not. The steaks me and my wife ordered, medium well, were both very dry. I only finished about half of mine before I just stopped eating. It just wasn't good. We didn't make a fuss or complain. We just got up and left. That was very disappointing. After that disaster, we headed up to Currents, where we saw a violin group called Celestial Strings. They were very good. After we watched them, we headed over to the Jubilee Theater to see a show. The show was called Soulbound. It was different, and we didn't really care for it that much. The R&B music in the production was great, but the storyline, not so much. My wife wanted to leave shortly after it started, but we sat through the whole show. Others, however, did leave. It was just a weird show. That concluded our day 4. On day 5, we woke up in Roatan, Honduras. This was our final port, and just like Cozumel and Costa Maya, we'd been to it before, even though it had been a while. It also happened to be Valentine's Day too. After taking in the sights and sounds of Roatan, later that evening we found ourselves in Currents again. This time we listened to Caribbean sounds with Neil. He was a steel drummer, and he played popular songs like Hotel California by the Eagles, John Lennon's Imagine, and others. I love the steel drum, and Neil was very good. Day 6 and 7 were sea days as we headed back to Galveston. We arrived back in Galveston early the morning of Saturday, February 17th. Disembarkation was nice and easy. We had an 8 o'clock a.m. disembarkation time. About 15 minutes prior, we were notified it was time to come down, and we were off the ship in fairly short order after that. The shuttle from the indoor parking garage was there waiting for us. We were back to our cars in about 15 to 20 minutes later and on our way home. A very successful conclusion to a great and memorable cruise. Thank you for watching. I invite you to check out our channel, and if you like what you see, I invite you to subscribe with us. We have a lot more in store for you in 2024, including our next cruise on the largest cruise ship in the world, Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas. Follow us on our journey as we cruise on what I call an awesome wonder. In addition, I invite you to check out all our videos from our cruise on the Jubilee. We have both shorts and long-form videos for your viewing pleasure. Thank you again for watching. Goodbye, and God bless you. This is Daryl Whitman. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode of Destination WVF TV.